Hey, what's good, Flare fam? This is Oortcloud here, and I'm bringing you the updates and news for what's going on with Flare and the Flare community in general. Okay, so to start off, I want to talk about an article on City A.M, which is titled Flare Illuminating the Utility Issues of Blockchain by Gillian Godsill. And in the spotlight is Hugo Philion. And it's basically an interview where he manages to shed a little bit of light on what is the major issues of blockchains at the moment and what are the implications of that and how Flare is working to fix that. So, in the spotlight it says, Crypto AM meets Hugo Philion, CEO and co-founder of Flare. Hugo Philion and his two co-founders shared a love of technology, in particular blockchain. In 2017, they began to focus on consensus algorithms intrinsic to cryptocurrencies, where they are used to achieve agreement on a single data value amongst distributed processes or systems. There's a lot of layer 1 blockchains out there, he explains. However, most of them are dealing with various aspects that are not necessarily perfect in our industry today. There are newer blockchains focused on technologies such as scaling, using sharding and zero-knowledge proofs, but scaling alone isn't going to lead to more utility for the industry. Philion argues that currently blockchains are quite limited in what they can do. Essentially, they are a ledger. They can confirm what has happened on that ledger, they can come to a consensus over it, which is super and a great utility, but it is not, by itself, necessarily a utility that can scale or offer products to the entire population of the world, he added. So he understands that this cannot scale, it cannot grow to the size that it needs to serve everyone on the planet, which is what Flare can do. And ultimately, that is what we want out of this new technology. So at Flare, we are not trying to attack the scaling problem because that will become a commodity in time, rather in the same way we all use algorithms as standard practice. Whoever manages to fix the scaling problem will only have a very short window to take advantage of their solution. Instead, Flare is looking to tackle the utility problem of blockchain. Philion sees only one major product currently, DeFi, but he doesn't call it a use case for blockchain, rather a set of primitives with limited usage. If we want to roll out DeFi and decentralized blockchains to a much larger number of people, then we need to add in as much data as possible. Flare is the blockchain for data. We have native protocols to be able to come to consensus over and absorb data from external systems, both blockchains and Web2 APIs. This will give developers the ability to build much more interesting applications, and it is these future applications that will have the chance to gain a very large user base. Building a blockchain of data takes time. Flare built its Songbird Canary Net in September 2021 to both live test its protocols in the wild on a blockchain where value already exists, and also to observe if its analysis of human behavior or participant behavior is correct. As you will be aware, all blockchains rely on some form of game theory for safety or consensus, as it has to be used by people. To see the interactions on Songbird has been really useful to us. It's also designed for developers to build within the Flare ecosystem and test their protocols on Songbird before transitioning to our mainnet. Philion explains the two blockchains as being the same as Lower House, Songbird, and an Upper House, Flare, in a traditional bicameral system. Another important aspect are the data protocols that allow Songbird and Flare to essentially prove what has happened on another blockchain on the chain, allowing two-way traffic between. And finally, Songbird can act as a viable layer 2 blockchain for additional computation on Flare. So while the existence of Songbird has not changed the development of the mainnet, it has been critical for analysing the data providing protocols, notably the FTSO, resulting in several changes. Of course, originally Flare was designed to be a layer 2 for a particular blockchain, XRP, but now it has evolved into a layer 1 blockchain for data delivering interoperability both with other blockchains and the internet. Flare has been building up to its own go-live moment where the token was distributed to many millions of latest rough extrapolation is about 7 million addresses on every major exchange in January. Not Coinbase. Coinbase delayed this and they've only just recently, as of yesterday, put it on their roadmap that they are going to be listing Flare. That is why we have had a major inflow of capital into the network, which has moved us right up to position 88 overall in blockchains in market cap. So this was one of the largest, widest and most massively decentralized token distributions in the history of crypto. It meant that the Flare got massive support from exchanges and is listed across many of them except Coinbase and Binance, but Coinbase has confirmed it will list the token in the first half of 2023. We distributed 15% to the public, and then the remaining 85% will be earned over the next 36 months by wrapping the Flare token on the network. Philion explains that the monthly distribution is earned pro rata. If someone holds 10% of what is wrapped, then they can earn 10% of that month's distribution and on for the next 36 months. We modeled it using the Bitcoin mentality, where you have relatively high inflation in the early days for people who contribute to the network. It's very hard to know what people will build in time. Consider YouTube or Facebook. I'm sure that the builders at the time did not know of the ultimate size of their application. We are looking to create the blockchain for data to allow people to take data from other places and use it on a blockchain. That might mean data as your identity, so you can plug it into games, social media networks, or even open banking. It might allow people to create applications where DeFi is relevant, perhaps in the form of buying in-game assets. Before, you might have needed a requisite token, and current DeFi is very limited in its application. We also see Flare as offering monetization layer in blockchain for existing Web 2 properties, and then you'd have a real inroad into mass adoption. So we're talking about Web 2 pages, like websites that don't usually have access to monetizing certain actions that are available on these websites, but now all of a sudden we can bring that in from these Web 2 applications, and through Web 3 and the Flare network we can then see monetization of this, which would revolutionize technology as a whole. So far, the large Flare community has been voracious for information and can be intense and critical when things go wrong or are not just perfect. One example of their engagement is a recent vote to change the distribution mechanics of the airdrop. There was a minimal participation from the team, but it passed with a 93% majority, which clearly demonstrates the passion of the community. As a foundation, we will also be supporting any credible developers wishing to build on the network through grants, and we are looking for partnerships with other companies and blockchains, as interoperability is the key to our success. And that's the end of the article. Now, I like that because they're offering grants to people who are developers who want to build something. They have an idea, it looks like it's viable. It's almost like Flare is delegating a lot of the work to people who want to be able to build their own brand. They can fund it, and they can test it to see if it works. And this is a great way to do it. It's almost like what Ripple have been doing. Ripple have been doing exactly the same sort of thing through grants, who wants to build on the XRP ledger, and I'm pretty sure that Zoom have been doing that. That's how they started. They managed to get a grant through the XRPL Foundation. So to round this article off, I would like to just say that this is fantastic. Hugo Philion is doing exactly what he should do as a CEO, and he's getting in touch with media sources who can promote to different audiences and have the vision, have clear understanding of how it's working, what it's possible to do, and where it could be in the future. and he's just giving a nice taster to allow other people to then go on and do their own research and decide whether they want to get involved or not. Now, this is an overall net positive for Flare Networks as a whole, and I do believe that with a CEO like this at the forefront, with the reins of the network, so to speak, we're going to be doing absolutely fantastic, because you can just see deep down that he's doing everything he can to make this a success for everybody. I mean, he's not just sitting back and going, work done. You know, he's going out there and he's trying to make sure that everything is known and that this is something that is going to grow and something that we can all build together, no matter what sort of aspect we come from or who we are. There is a place for everybody and there is something for everyone within the network, and it's great to see stuff like this. I just want to shout out Flare Network's Guardian for sharing this article. That's how I found it, and yeah, this one's for you.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
And if you haven't followed him yet, make sure you do. His handle is @LedgerGuardian, and you can find him under Flare Network's Guardian in the search tab on Twitter. He's always sharing very relevant news within Flare Networks. So yeah, this is the main topic that I wanted to discuss with you guys today. This is the relevant news that I think is most important to be sharing. If nobody was aware, Flare did skyrocket last night and this morning, and it's upwards of something like, let's have a look, I think it's like, 20.6% as of now it's up. It's moved up to 31% actually. It's gone up even further as I'm making this video. And if we have a look at the overall market cap of cryptocurrency, we can see that Flare has moved up to 86th position, and a couple of weeks ago it was below 100. So it's moving up at a fairly fast rate with an overall market cap of $527 million. That's $500 million in a bear market. It's absolutely, within my eyes, going up to number 10, and with the utility it has and mass adoption, easily number 5, without a doubt. There's no way that Flare is an unimportant blockchain. It's highly valuable. It's a layer 1, and the problems that it solves and the technology it has behind it and the team and everything else, it's set to do amazing things in my eyes. So yeah, that's about it. I'm going to wrap it up now. This is the update for today. And yeah, this has been a really great and interesting time for Flare, just to see the developments and see how it grows in such an organic manner. There are a couple more things that I want to discuss, but I'm going to leave that for tomorrow's show, and we can have a little dive into some other facts and figures that are floating around at the moment. So yeah, this is me signing out, and thank you for listening. If you have any queries, give me a shout in the comments and I'll try my hardest to get back to you, and I'll see you again for the next one.
Bye, have a beautiful time.